So when you come out, you're like, I'm getting bang on it again. Or what
well,
was
the mad
was
thing
there no
is,
rehabilitation in
this
there?
is it.
Okay. I've got any humour in, so I'm only winding you up.
It's good thing I've got a healthy sense of fucking self, isn't it? My life. Well, I did wreck myself on a couple of occasions.
All right, good.
Just to share that.
In the top bunk.
When you remove the substances, you're left with you, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't handle being me. And that's your community. And I had nothing else to go back to. Like, it took me so long to grasp the concept of, like, the problem with me was my relationship with me, which directly impacted my relationship with everything else.
Bail.
Bail.
She's in a bowel hospital.
Did I sound like that? Bail sounds too...
Say it again. You say it in your accent.
Bail.
No, you fucking don't say it like that.
I did. What did I say?
Bail.
I don't even know. I don't have an accent. Do I have an accent?
Yeah, you do have an accent,
like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, to you, I must have an accent.
Of course. Like, that's how accents work. You don't have an accent to you. This podcast's going to be boring as fuck. This girl's dry, man. Sorry, man. Just disclaimer, this is going to be the driest, most boring podcast we've ever done. She's not got any humour in her, so I'm only winding you up.
It's good thing I've got a healthy sense of fucking self, isn't it? My life.
This is how we challenge people on this podcast. It's like, are you ready for full power? You ready to keep your shit together?
Yeah.
Bow.
Is that what I fucking said? I did not sound like that.
Well, it was just vowels, I think. Bow.
Did you record that bit? We need to play that back because that is not bail.
Bail, there you go.
No, that sounds, when I say bail,
yeah.
It sounds like I'm trying to...
When you say bail like that, it sounds like you've never been to prison. Bail. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm here to share a room with you. Fucking hell, love. You're going to fucking struggle.
Just one of my other personalities came out. That's what. Do you know what?
How do we say Bale? Gareth Bale.
What was the difference? What did I say? What did I?
Nick's not listening.
Nick,
he's,
what did I say?
He's got a podcast on, a good podcast on. Oh, cheers anyway.
Cheers.
Matiosh, full power.
Matiosh.
You say it 3 times. Matiosh. Acho. And may this podcast be for your highest and best, my highest and best for everybody that's listening out there. Mm-hmm. Listen, guys. Listen. Really listen. There's some gems in here for you. Absolutely. Fucking hope so, anyway. If it's not, it's all her fault.
No, he's the one in charge.
Thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Natalie Russell. Mm-hmm. You related to Jack? No. Not related to Jack Russell. Do you know who Jack Russell is?
The dog?
No, he's a wicket keeper, English wicket keeper. Also a dog as well, yeah, but he wasn't a dog when he was a wicket keeper.
I thought you were going, and I was like...
I was going there, yeah. Well, I thought I'd take you somewhere else. He actually looked a little bit like a Jack Russell, the wicket keeper. He's like a scruffy little...
You're trying to say I look like a dog?
No, not at all. No, because I was asking him if he was related to Russell Kane, if he was Russell Kane's wife, but I was like, that'd be the other way. She'd be Natalie Kane then, wouldn't she? Exactly. Not Natalie Russell.
Basically, you don't know who the hell I am, do you?
Who is she? What does she do? Oh, you're going to tell us. So, Natalie Russell, welcome to the Full Power Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Relationship expert, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's questionable.
Well, fucking hell, you've got a business on it. Hopefully you know a bit about it. Hopefully you fuck loads of them up. Because they're the best teachers,
This is it. That is exactly.
Imagine going to it's like a relationship coach. Yeah, I've been married to Jonathan since I was 17. Everything's been great. Like, fucking, well,
that's it. I'm a relationship recovery coach.
Relationship recovery coach. So what's the definition of that?
Recovering from unhealthy relationships.
Okay.
So I know how to do unhealthy relationships.
You've specialised in them.
Specialised in them. Okay. And I know how to heal from them. So that's why I say relationship recovery. Because if you hear relationship coach, like people will look for people who know how to have successful relationships. And it's not that I don't. I just haven't found the right man to do it with yet. Yeah.
Well, you've not been a vibrational match for the correct person yet.
I've been trying.
You've been trying. Yeah. It's a process, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So so talk us through your business then, I guess, to start with, what you offer within that service, and then let's start with that. Yeah.
So I offer one-to-one coaching and I run retreats and workshops. I mainly focus on women, healing space, just because I think for a long time my boundaries didn't have any. So sticking with women was a safer option for me. Yeah. And I also know I'm a woman who's gone through the healing journey, right, and learned to love myself. So that's where my heart and my passion is. Yep. So I work with women, helping them heal from trauma, unhealthy relationships, low self-esteem, and basically the unhealthy relationship with yourself, right? So most of my programs that I do, whether it's one-to-one or group, is working on mind, body and soul. So I think in a lot of the healing spaces and coaching spaces, like people focus on the mind, or they focus on the spiritual, or they focus on the body. And I think for a long time, I was stuck in my mind. I actually then started seeking spiritually, but went all over the place and then ended up in church for a long time, which I think really blocked me from the body stuff.
Those churches will fuck you right up, man.
Well, yeah. I know that for a while that was what I needed. I think I needed the structure of it and the community of it. But in a lot of ways, absolutely. It was like I was trying to stuff a round peg in a square. No, that's not the right way.
Square peg in a round hole. Yeah. A round peg would go straight in a square hole. You'd be like, I've dropped it. It's fucking. I was like, there's no stuffing. I wanted to really struggle with that. It just was that easy.
Yeah. But for a long time, I was trying to. I think I saw these people as having it all together because they had the family units and they had, but they weren't me. They didn't come from where I came from, and I think it does block you off from healing those deeper parts of yourself and the nervous system that needs healing, right? So after years and years in the church, I was going through the therapy coaching myself. I then kind of I've had about 50,000 dark nights of the soul. But went through one and then started expanding out. And when I connected all three together, that's when things really started to shift for me. So my basically business is all about connecting the three and helping people heal from the crap that keeps them stuck in the cycles.
Amazing. And how long have you been doing that for?
So I've been doing that for about 5 years, but I have worked with, I worked with domestic abuse victims for years before that. And then I worked with teenagers who were running away from home, basically teenagers with trauma, young parents, things like that. So, and I work with addictions, mental health. So I've been in the field for about 20 years.
Oh, amazing. So that gives you a lot of depth to sort of set your own business up. So when was the thing, I'm going to set my own business up, I'm going to do this relationship recovery thing, focus on women?
If I'm honest, that came like a culmination of two things. My last relationship that I eventually walked away from, I was in and out of it for 6.5, 7 years, and it was toxic and unhealthy as hell, and what I settled for and what I allowed. When I finally found the strength to walk away from that, and then I had a car crash that triggered off a chronic pain condition called fibromyalgia. I say triggered off and I say fibromyalgia, like I don't like labels. So I don't say I have, but I was diagnosed with it and I definitely experienced widespread pain and couldn't do much. And that sent me on a massive healing journey in terms of natural healing paths and stuff like that. Then healing the relationship with myself. What I came to realise is all of my decisions, all of my choices, everything came back to that flipping point of the relationship with myself was screwed. Like
self-worth.
Yeah. Like from the trauma that I'd gone through, like it had, my, I was probably more abusive than anyone else. And that's saying something. Do you know what I mean? So, like when I really, the penny finally dropped with that, then I went on this deep healing journey of the two of that together.
So how did that penny drop? Was there like a moment where you was like, oh, fuck? Because I know what mine was, but like...
Oh, I've had so many penny drop moments. I think I've learned it all.
Right, okay, and there's another...
and then there's another layer and another penny drop.
Or as they say in Northern Ireland, layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer.
Upon layer. There's flipping and there's a lot of layers. There was a lot of layers, like... And still is, like...
and still keep coming up.
Oh my gosh. Just when you think you cracked it, that's like, if you ever think that you have, you're deluded.
I assure you, if you've cracked it, you'll float away.
That's it.
You just completed the game and you're just like, yeah. So I always say, well, after my ceremonies or yoga class, like, is everybody here? Oh, no one completed yoga. Unlucky. Maybe next time. Like, completed yoga, you can complete this. I was like, yeah, you can complete it. It's like enlightenment, just choosing to die. Get out your body, get out your body because you're not your body. That realization of you're not your body and really accepting that and boom, and either be in your body and enjoy it and know that it's just a vehicle, or leave it and like,
this is it.
What's going on out there?
So I've had so many of those realizations. The first one I had was like when I was when I just come out of prison.
You've been in prison?
I've been in prison.
What, working?
I know, look. You look
working?
Well, I was working, I was wing cleaning. I was making, doing sewing, making prison uniform.
Amazing. Go on, so sorry. In prison?
It's when I came out of there.
When you came out of prison?
And I'd had a history of substance abuse. And this was my 5th time coming out, and I'd been to rehab 5 times. So in my teenage years, it was prolific, and I had a profound spiritual experience that just like shifted. It was the first time in my life that I'd experienced like what peace and love felt like.
And was you looking for that, or did it just happen?
Well, so someone had brought me some drugs around, and I was at the point where I was like, if I start using these again, like I just want to die. I can't do it anymore. So it's either I just kill myself and have an overdose, or I don't use. But I didn't have the power to not use. Like I didn't know like it was such an inbuilt powerful thing. So I hit my knees and I just started praying to what I didn't know what the hell I was praying to. And I was there for about half an hour, just like begging, pleading. And then I was just, I can't even explain it. I was just washed with this huge sense of love and peace. And I started bawling, but it was tears of pure flipping joy, like pure joy. And I realised that that's what I'd been looking for that whole time in substances, to try and avoid this deep inner conflict. And I'd managed to experience it without anything. And in that moment, I was like, I don't ever want to touch them again. So the person who gave me a big stash to test, when they came back, I shoved it back in his hand and I said, don't ever come near me again. And that was the last time that I used those drugs. So it was a profound shift.
So it's obviously it's just a massive surrender.
Yeah,
massive. It's like I'm not. I can't do this. Like someone help me.
Yeah. And I like to this day, it's one of those things that you just can't explain in words aren't enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was enough to completely turn my life around. I found out I was pregnant about a month and a half later. And then a few months after that, landed in Bournemouth. And then I've had a lot of ego deaths and rebirths and spiritual experiences. And then I've lost my faith more times than I can count. And then I've had more and more. I'm a constant spiritual seeker. I'm so hungry for it because I know what it does to me, to my mind, to my body, to how I am with the world, like how I interact with people, how I show up as a mum, like the spiritual part of us. Well, that's the core of who we are, right?
Yeah, and it's just like the opportunities that it creates from that full surrender and going on that journey and always wanting to like there to seek more, to know that there is more, and there's more layers to release from our past, our traumas, but also like that, you can't even learn everything. Like when people say they're bored, I'm like, what? There's like, there's so much you can like, you could have 1,000 lives and never learn everything that is like worth learning. Like, so like being bored is like, what on this planet, like there's so much you can experience and like evolve into. But I think like when you were talking about the, surrendering and stuff and like getting down on your knees, that's like, for me, that's like rock bottom, where it's like, right, I'm out of here unless something drastically changes pretty quickly. And that's where I think a lot of people are scared of going, because it's like, I don't want to go to that space where I'm agreeing to check out, but I'm also surrendering to something different, because if I surrender to something different, I have to let go of all my old ways of being. I have to change my friendships. I have to do this, and people find that scary. And it's like we always say about teetering between dark and light, and just kind of like teetering. It's like go dark. When people are saying about the kids, I'm like, just let them support, be there, support them, but don't fucking like make it easy for them, and don't like just make them be. Oh, I'm gonna teeter here because my mum's looking after me. It's like let them go, and then they will find their way, and they will raise out of that like the phoenix. But if you hold on to them and support them so tightly for like 20 years, they're not ever gonna do anything, and you're just gonna prolong their awakening. Actually, you're probably going to make it worse. So it's like to just like give them the freedom. And I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends with kids, and they go, oh man, like since we had that conversation and I just like released a little bit, they kind of did go into a dark place, but now they've really blossomed into like a better human being, a better young man, a better young lady.
Well, we do. That's that we don't learn through comfort, do we? Like comfort brings why would you seek anything? But when you don't experience the darkness, you can't experience the light in its fullness, right? Joy, peace, all of those beautiful gifts that come with the light. You can't know them or appreciate them in the fullness until you go into the darkness, right?
Yeah, and you've been to a lot of darkness.
Oh, mate. I am a shadow seeker, though.
Hi, guys. We've got an amazing deal for you at the moment. 500-gram bag of cacao, my book, Dealer to Healer, and a Paulo Santo. So if you are wanting to gift somebody a beautiful present, that gives you 3 different options. So you got 3 Christmas presents for people straight away, 44 quid, saving money and giving somebody a beautiful gift. Merry Christmas. Have a good one. Happy birthday, Jesus. Happy birthday, Jesus. Peace.
If it is going to help me evolve, if it is going to help shift this crowd, like I will go there. Like I'm so not afraid of the dark. It's unreal. And I think that's a lot of the work that I do with people is try and encourage them to go there. Because when you
otherwise it's just stored,
you're just stalled, and it has a massive impact. That people that are afraid to go there and afraid to heal, you are going to stay in the same toxic cycles, in the same unhealthy relationship dynamics, like miserable, never experiencing what true joy and freedom feels like. And I'm not saying I'm there all the time, trust me. Like I have a lot of dark times. It's not, but I know just how beautiful freedom tastes, and it's freaking amazing.
100%. Well, freedom, you've been inside for 5 times, so you have a better appetite for freedom than most of us. He's fucking locked up. But I want to go into, obviously, like, I want to know the prison things, but but can we, like, take it back to, like, how that all ended up happening? What was your sort of earliest memories, childhood? What was childhood like growing up?
My brain has this funny way of it, like, it only attaches to things that have strong memories. And for me, most of them, like, don't get me wrong, there are some good memories, and I'm not saying that my whole childhood was crap, but I just remember a lot of the crap. And I think, not having a dad there, or he had alcohol and substance misuse issues, mainly weed, but he was just not present, not vague, not there. And my mum, with her own trauma responses, was trying to function with 2 young kids by herself. And like being a single mum who's raised 2 kids, it's flipping hard. Like no person is supposed to do that journey alone. It flipping and provide and do that. Like, we're just not cut out for it.
However, like, I know some women who've also got a fella involved as well who's fucking useless, and I'm like, well, you'd be better off just looking after 2 kids, man.
100%. But my finger been on my own.
He's fucking useless. That's not a man. That's a child.
Well, this is it.
It's like 35 and he's on his Xbox for 5 hours and he could be out earning money. Right. It's like, fucking get rid of him, kick him out.
Right. Well, why do you think I've been on my own for 7 years?
And smashing it.
Right. Yeah. I've definitely evolved the most in those 7 years than I have. And now I'm at a place where I would never allow, unless they are not like matching what I bring to the table and they're not helping me evolve, I'm not interested at all. But you learn, we end up repeating patterns subconsciously that we're raised with, right?
Yeah.
So my mum then got remarried. So there was me and my sister. My mum got remarried and then had 2 more children. And that relationship, he worked, like she'd leveled up. He at least had a job and were able to buy property or whatever, but completely unpresent. And he ended up having an affair and being left again. And her kind of, her way of coping and trying to make it different for us was that, you know, you were talking about that need for control. That was just, and I get it, I understand it. It's a fear-based response when you've been through so much. Her mum died when she was 14, her dad left. It's just history repeating itself, right? And we end up being attracted to, or our nervous systems end up being primed and attracted to similar things because it feels familiar, right? So and
it's all you've seen. It's like, that's like seen. Normal.
I've never seen healthy dynamics within relationships. There was a lot of high volatile energy growing up, and then there was outside the family home sexual abuse, and so I think the combination of all that together and a lot of unmet needs, and my mum's struggling to raise 4 kids by herself, didn't have time, energy or whatever, not for her own fault, and hadn't gone there with her own emotions either. So you can't hold space for other people's
I don't think anybody did in them days anyway.
No,
like, it wasn't a thing. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't
a thing.
And that's why I think there's a lot of us like light workers now. It's like we're here to obviously change the fucking world, but also like to heal the ancestral line. Like
100%, 100%. I definitely see that in our generation. I say our generation. How old are you?
Probably loads younger than you. I'm joking. I'm probably I don't know, I'm 42, you're probably younger than me, I'd imagine.
45.
Oh, you're 45?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So loads older. I always wind my missus up that she's like a decade younger than me. She was like, no, I was born in a different decade. I'm like, yeah, but he's a decade younger, innit?
So you're right. It's like we are the ones who are shifting the narrative, right? And that means that you just you experience. I think that not having space to go with that that internal trauma and the way that I perceived it all. We're very egocentric when we're young, isn't it? And we think everything is about us. And my dad not being there, I internalized as, and not engaging with me, internalized as like, I'm not enough. I'm not lovable enough. The sexual assault, sexual abuse, when I started to process it and came to an age, I thought, well, I allowed it to happen, so it's about me, and it happened to me because I'm not enough. So everything that happened, I internalized that. And when you have, like Gabor Mate talks about, when you don't have, it's not the event itself, but being alone with the feelings of those events, that's what creates the impact. And I think it was there was self-harm from a young age, and I definitely undiagnosed ADHD. I think my brain was all over the place. I struggled at school, so just a combination of all of that. And then I started, when I think my first, what I called my first boyfriend, I'm talking little school, he used to come up to me, kiss me on the lips and kick me in the shins and run off.
Right, okay.
I was obsessed with him. Absolutely obsessed with him.
That's what boys, I kind of thought that was like your girlfriend. No, you had the girlfriend, you had to kind of bully her. I just thought that was like what you did. You just kind of bullied your girlfriend.
Well, I'm so certainly attracted to that.
Yeah.
So that right there, was the start of a repeated pattern in terms of relationships as well, and boys that I interacted with. And I think that desperate need for approval, to be loved, to feel like I was enough, I just got in this constant cycle of trying to seek it from the wrong places, and it reinforcing that low self-esteem that I wasn't enough. And I just had this constant, and the hole just got bigger and bigger. And then I found substances at 12.
Substances at 12. So had you, before you found the substances at 12, was you in trouble at school? Was you disruptive, or was you
So I was never I was disruptive, and I wasn't in trouble. I didn't get expelled or anything like that, but I was always the one that was I was either put to the back of the class, just stop disrupting, or I was in drama. I was amazing. That was my best subject. Because
this is what I'm going to go into as an adult.
Well, Well,
loads of it.
Well, this is it. There's just practicing for my life. So those subjects, great at, because it was practical. But I actually used to just bunk out of the classes a lot, or I'd bunk off school a lot. But it wasn't, you didn't get caught in those days as much. Or I'd go out of the classroom and I'd rife around people's bags that they left in their lockers, and sort of started theft at quite a young age. There was a lot of lack in although on the outside it looked like we had the house or whatever, the financial situation inside, it was a constant financial pressure and stress, and that's what I heard a lot. And I was around people who came from money. I went to a grammar school, and I definitely wasn't grammar school standard, or from a lot of the money that was around that. So I felt inadequate all the time. So started shoplifting at 11. I think the first time I got caught, I was 12 and a half, 13. So police involvement started from a young age as well. So
right, okay.
And
so that was the first police thing, was shoplifting.
And then I ran away from home at 14 and a half, and then I never returned to my mum's. I refused to go back home. And
did you go into care then, or?
Well, they were going to put me in care, and they were going to place me in somewhere in Cornwall, and I absolutely kicked off, and I was I wanted to go in the children's home that was around the corner from my mum's, because I didn't want to live at home, but I wanted to be near home.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So I was trying to control. Thought I was powerful enough to control the dynamic.
You're going to Cornwall. Where was this? You grew up in Bournemouth, or?
No. So I grew up, I was born in Denham, then moved to Fulmer, then Ascot, then Windsor, then Slough, then Reading, then Bristol, then London, then...
Right.
Yeah, just done the rounds and circuits. But
so a gypsy with houses.
basically. Well, after 14 and I lived with my basically stepmom and dad agreed to take me. And I'd barely seen my dad much for and I lived there for a year, and I could swear I only spoke to my dad about 5 times within that whole year that I lived there.
Right. You're just doing your own thing? Or?
Well, yeah, I went from my mum, like, very strict
on your case, yeah,
to my stepmom had a completely different way. Well, I became her friend, so I was allowed to smoke cigarettes. My dad, for my birthday, got me a pack of weed and a pack of Rizzler and some fags at my 15th birthday, and I thought, result, I've laughed.
It was like, my dad's cool as fuck, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it went from one extreme to the other, but in that time I just went so off the rails, and my sister was already in bed sits, so I started staying with her.
Older sister?
Yeah, she's a year and a bit older than me. I started staying with her, and then at 16 moved out into my first flat that lasted about 6 months before I got kicked out. It got like taken over by like.
So what was the first drug then? What first drugs?
So weed, and then.
So it wasn't alcohol. The alcohol wasn't the first drug. Everyone forgets this.
Yeah,
Everyone forgets this, man. Like all the norms out there, they go, "Oh, you started cannabis and it led to all other drugs." It's like, nah, I started fucking alcohol.
Yeah, but
everybody starts on alcohol.
I think it came kind of in tandem. I think it was, and it might have even been weed first.
Yeah, if it's in the family, if you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't with my dad though.
No, but I mean, it's that awareness of it. Do you know what I mean? It's more like
maybe. I don't even remember whether I had awareness of whether my dad smoked at that point. I don't.
If you want to start your cacao journey today, head over to www.fullpowercacao.com to get 11% off your first order. Use the code FULLPOWER2012 at checkout and start to feel that full power vibration today. Now, back to the podcast. Enjoy.
I don't remember what my awareness was. Like, my memory is so flipping patchy.
Well, so it's weird, but was you like, I want to try that, because I wanted to try everything.
Well, yeah,
when I started.
I did try everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was just what it gave me, which was the escape. And I think my brain also looked for dopamine dumps. Now I understand what I know, right, about
Go easy
trauma.
On the cacao. Don't let her drink all that, mate.
Well, the thing is, no, you're all good. I have the odds social drink once in a blue moon these days. Yeah. I went through a phase after I did 9 years complete abstinence when I first turned my life around. And then I started socially drinking, and then the more I went on the healing journey and learned about the impacts of alcohol and the toxins and how it's just a drug as well. I do drink less and less as time goes on.
My drinking is like, I don't really. I might do it socially with people that are in my circles and in my community, but I won't really drink socially with my old mates who drink.
Yeah, no,
it's weird. It's like I won't do it, and like I'll only have. I couldn't tell you the last time I was drunk. It's probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went on the whole abstinence thing. I think I was abstinent. Everybody knew me as, this is Liam, he don't drink. That's how my mates used to introduce me in the pub. This is Liam, he don't drink. I was like, I've got a better title than that. You know what I mean? And but it was then, I was just like being in Spain and going, I just wanted to have a little tiny, they have these things called Cerritos. It's like two mouthfuls of beer. And I was just like enjoying the smell, and you're in Spain, it feels a bit different. You're eating olives, it'd be like, oh, nice to have a beer. And I just went, why am I depriving myself from that? Like, is it going to lead me? And I was like, I don't think it is. I think I'm in total control. So for me, like the abstinence, some people cannot go back to alcohol. One sip and fucked. But for me, like, I think everybody is capable of fully being recovered, because if you're in recovery, because everybody tells themselves they're in recovery, for me it's like, be recovered, be in control, you are the master, not that the master of you. That's where the power is, and that's how I felt. I was like, nothing has control over me now, everything is my choice, and I will consume what I want. So for me, it would be like, I'll go in a restaurant, it's like, oh, I might have a beer.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, do you know what? I didn't enjoy that. I'm not going to have another. Or I think one night I think it was England in the semi-final of like the World Cup. I was like, do you know what? I've not been drunk for fucking 7 years. I'm going to get drunk with the lads tonight. And then I had like, I only drink half an Estrella or a Spanish beer. And then the lads, are you fucking drinking half a pack? I was like, it's made to be drunk as a half actually. And they're like, I'm just like, and then my nephew goes, he's like, what you having? I was like, I'm just having lime soda. I'd had one beer and I was like, I'm not interested. And then, you know, by 9:30, everyone's pissed. And I'm like, see you later. And just walk home. Do you know what I mean? I've like been on the lime soda. I'm going to get pissed tonight. I had half a beer and then like 10 lime sodas. Big night.
Well, this is it though. Like, I'm not going to lie. I did when I first started, when I stepped over to drinking, and I was the same as you. Like for years I did the 12-step recovery program.
Brilliant program.
Oh my gosh, like it saved my life 100%.
Yeah.
And it helped me evolve. Like it's the start of doing the shadow work and the inner work, isn't it? It delves into that stuff, and
you go, oh fuck, like everything that's been fucked up in my life that have been everyone else's fault. Who's the most consistent person in it? Oh fuck, I'm always there. So I'm in everything. So, penny drop, man. Like fuck, what a dickhead. It's my fault.
Yeah, this is it. But then you can swing the other way, and I did for a long time. I went from it's the world's fault and being really angry at the world to, oh gosh, I'm the problem, and then being really angry at myself. And then that's what the pendulum swing, isn't it? And then I came back to the middle. But yeah, it was life-saving. But I got to the point where I remember so clearly sitting in a meeting about 9.5 years in, and I was listening to someone and they were going like, oh, I'm sick as, my brain's so sick, I haven't done a meeting in 3 days, and like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like an addict and I'm always going to be this sick, blah, blah, if I don't do these meetings. And I sat there and I thought, I don't want to be like controlled, and the words we speak have so much flipping power. And if I tell myself every day that I'm an addict, guess what? I'm going to be an addict, and then I'll respond accordingly. So I started to explore other ways of thinking around it and change the narrative. And I knew I don't ever say to anyone, just go try it. I knew deep in my soul that it didn't have the power over me anymore. I didn't have addictive behaviours in that, and I knew my response to pain wasn't to pick up a substance. That is the last thing I'd want to do if I'm in emotional pain, because all you're doing is blocking and extending that pain, making that pain worse, like extending the timeline from pain to the freedom of it. So it was never my response, and I just knew in my soul, and that's been the absolute. So I only ever socially drink when like I'm in a good space. If I'm not, then I'm not drinking. It's just, it's not, and it's so rare these days. Like it's when I go out socially for a dance once in a blue moon, and quite often the next day I'm like, why did you do that?
Do you not do any sober raving? Like
everything, and I love ecstatic dance and somatic dance. I bring that into my, I was going to say rehabs that I run. Rehabs that I run, retreats, well, they're kind of rehabs. Rehabs for the broken souls. But yeah, so I'm very much that somatic ecstatic dance has been a massive part of my healing in the past few years, like, and where it can take me to mentally, spiritually shift the energy within my body and my mind. Like you incorporate that together, and I've been to a few not sober raves, but ecstatic dance events and stuff like that. So
nice. Yeah, they're amazing.
I love it. It connects you to yourself, right? It's an amazing form of meditation for me. And discharging all the crap that stalls in the body, right?
Exactly, yeah, man. We need to move. We're designed to dance, man, and like
100%.
dance,
And
drum, sing.
It's
like shake shit out.
Yeah, we're not taught to do this, right? You look at animals in the wild; they know freaking what to do. After they've been chased or something's come along, you shake it out.
Shake it out, yeah.
But we don't. We stay. We're too rigid in this country, aren't we?
Especially in this country. Like I just watch my cats like chilling and just like. Because I go around to people's houses and because I love carpet, so if I'm going to someone's house and there's like sofas, I just lie on the carpet and they're like, just sit on the couch if you want. I can see the fucking couch. Like I'm enjoying the carpet, man. Like you got thick piled carpet. I'm like vibing off your carpet, like touching it up and feeling it. Have a erotic experience with your carpet. I won't make a mess. If I do, I'll clean it up.
So we've lost that art, isn't
man.
it? It's like being out in nature and grounding. You're like, I flipping never thought I'd see the day where I became a tree hugger. I hug trees, man.
Yeah, man.
I do. And I feel genuine connection to them. It like grounds the hell out of me. And I think the more I've gone on kind of my journey, the more I realize how flipping connected to nature we are. And how this society has robbed us so much of that connection, right?
Yeah, totally. I live in nature now. Like, it's fucking mad for me being in the city. Like,
I can't.
But when I'm in the city now, I just stay in one place. Like, I stay in one place, I do the shit that I've got to do, and then I get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, did you not go? I was like, no, I don't like go. I just go where I need to go, get the fuck out. Like, people, do you not miss the city? What about if you want to go and see a show? I'm like, I couldn't give a fuck. I've got a fucking TV. I watch the show on my TV if I need to watch it. Do you know what I mean? But I'll
pop in once in a blue moon, but nature
I've got no interest. Like we live in the middle of nowhere, and like the nearest town's like that's got like all the shops is like 40 minutes. I've never been.
Seriously?
I've never been.
Seriously?
People are like, why have you not? I was like,
you're that far out into the wilderness.
Yeah. We're 20 minutes from like a town drive, and then. Like the kids when they first got them, gonna walk to the shop and they come back nearly 3 hours later. I was like, oh Lord, it took an hour and 20 minutes to get there. And she'd had her sweets by the time she got back.
Well, just taking her back to her roots.
Well,
right?
and to be fair, but that inspired her to, as soon as she was 16, she went and did a CBT. She worked as much for me as she could, saved up, got herself a motorbike, like did all the research, exactly what she needed to do, bought this motorbike, scooter, like, and then she just scooters about. Yeah. Like, I call her the assassin because sometimes she'd be in like she wear black pants, a black like roll neck, what are they called? Turtleneck, yeah. And then she's got this black helmet on with these little black horns on. She's only 16. I'm like, have you got another hit? She's like, what? I'm like, you're like an assassin. Like, she fucking go fully black, like just goes past like doing in Southwest Wales in the middle of nowhere, just doing hits like silencer on the gun and then just speeds off at 28 miles an hour on a moped. Up a hill. I'm getting out of here.
I want to be able to catch her. They're all flipping unfit.
Well, exactly, yes. Fucking love it, yeah. Brilliant. But that's like things like that, like even just like little things like that. If she'd have still lived in the city, she probably would have never got inspired to actually go and create this bit of freedom. And then like, oh, I'm going to get a car now. And she's 17 in like a couple of months. And she's like,
this your daughter?
My missus is half stepkids, like, and she's going to be, she'll get a car as soon as she's ready. 17 because she's like got it all planned. She's like got to do her lessons, and
this is it if you don't make it comfortable for them. And that's when I like the times where I felt the deepest pain around my kids, how I didn't learn this stuff sooner, so I ended up repeating the cycle because I've raised both my kids by myself, both two different dads, both had addiction issues, both non-present. And
you never fancied a Eureka?
A Eureka?
5 from 5.
5 from 5?
5 kids, 5 dads.
Hell no.
That's a fucking heavy duty Christmas, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I've never heard of
drop
that.
them all off. You've been gone all day.
Yeah, when I've cried the most over the fact that I repeated the cycle, like I repeat the cycle, but I've changed the game because I've been like so much in search of healing and changing the narrative for myself, and they've watched that. They're now like both asked for personal development books at Christmas, and so they're both
How old are they?
One's 16 and one's just turned 22. So they're both on personal development journeys and seeking journeys, and both have an element of faith.
Usually, that's what I mean. That's amazing that that's happening in such an early age, because that doesn't usually happen until you fucked up your 20s and you get to 30 and you're like,
right.
Well, yeah, Saturn returns, so it coming in earlier. But I think a lot of these new kind of like millennial crystal children that are coming through, they've already got the chakras, the higher chakras opened. You don't have to go through all the trauma that we've gone through, and then we go. God. I remember meeting a Catholic woman, and she's like, I don't understand why you people all have to do these plant medicines. I was like, well, because you people fucked us up that much that we have to cleanse it. And we can go and do it and sit in a cave for 7 years, but that's not going to change the world very quickly. So why don't we go and do an ayahuasca ceremony and cleanse it in 7 hours? She's like, I went, jog on. Jog on, angry Catholic.
This is it, 100%. And I've had to go, like, I've done plant journeys myself, and because, like, I want this to heal so I don't pass it on as much as possible. But actually, the fact that I haven't had, or their dads haven't been present, has actually been such a huge flipping gift in some ways as well, because it has helped them evolve. It hasn't been all smooth sailing. They haven't been given any of it on a plate at all, but they've been given it with watching someone who's like a wisdom seeker and wants to better myself and wants to heal and wants to. So I think they got the best of both.
If you are interested in holding your own cacao ceremonies for your community, then come and train with us at Full Power Cacao Facilitator Training. We've got 2 dates coming up in 2025. Just head over to the website, check out the details, and book on if it is calling you. Now, back to the podcast.
Both worlds, actually.
Yeah.
Flipping lucky.
So you saying to us before and to be fair, like actually not having the dads about who probably would have caused loads of issues, traumas, and like to see this messiness, like probably propelled them on the journey a lot quicker.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. So obviously we were talking before, and you said like the reason that you ended up in prison was you was this massive Prisoner Cell Block H fan when you was growing up, and you were like, I want to go there. Right. Is that the reason?
100%. It was my biggest dream when I was young.
That food looks great. No, so how, like, when was the first, like, was you getting close to going prison and you just couldn't, did you know it was going to happen, or what was the...
No, the first time I ended up, I got sent to Holloway, and like I bawled my eyes out in the dark because like you just don't think it's going to happen to you, and like I'm not your average. Like I got sent to grammar school, and I even went to private school for 1 year. My stepdad's parents paid for me to go to private school so I could take the 12 plus, because I was told I wasn't bright enough to take the 11 plus. My mum wanted me in grammar school. So
when the judge says to Holloway, he was like, I think your mother and father wasted their money on you, child.
But yeah, so I was bawling in the dark. I was like, I'm not made for this. But yeah, I'd just been, I mean, like, I was a prolific offender, but I obviously wasn't that good because I got caught a lot.
And was this just drug use, or?
It was drug use, because it escalated pretty quick from the age of 12 to by the time this was 17, like I was on heroin and crack cocaine, so like it had escalated massively.
So full addict.
Yeah. And then it was like 5-6 years of just repeating the same flipping cycle.
So you wasn't getting like big sentences. Was it just for being caught in possession, or was it?
No, not caught in possession. It was like thefts and for like trying to earn money for, and then a phrase. Like I had loads of charges, like carrying a bladed article and threatening to endanger life, and like it was all minor stuff that I say minor.
It just built up.
Yeah, it just built up, and I kept, because I didn't have fixed abodes a lot of the time. I was homeless a lot. then you get remanded. So the last time I went was the only actual sentence that I did.
Right, okay.
Basically years and years of like getting caught for things and all added up.
So the first time you went in jail, how long was it for?
I think I was there 3 months in Holloway.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? How did you cope?
Well,
did you have a like strategy?
Well,
surely
no.
you make us like.
Well, no, like I don't know. I was a flipping deer in headlights, and my jewellery got robbed off me, so I didn't do very, very well.
Yeah.
And then also I was told I was going to go to the hospital wing to do detox, and then the people I was in a cell with, they was like, "Oh, you don't want to go to the hospital wing? That's like horrific, and it's full of like lice and flipping. They're all nuts in there." And so I was like, no, oh God, I don't want to go there. So I told the wing officer I don't want to go there. Then that night I was waiting for my medication to come round, my detox medication. Like I was pressing the bell, they hadn't bought it, and I was like, what the hell? Came to the door and I was like, I haven't had my detox medication. He was like, well, you refuse to go to the hospital wing, so you don't get any, and you can't change your mind. Yeah, so I'm in a cell with 3 other women and detoxing, which is like, it's horrific. It's horrendous. Trying to stay as still as possible.
Because they'll fuck you up.
That's in my mind. I was like, they're going to freaking seriously, like, try having diarrhea and being sick in the same cell. It was horrendous. I'm not going to lie. And then you're left with your own mind.
Book. Have you wrote a book yet? Have you wrote a book?
I've started.
Come on, girl. Fuck me. Come on.
I pick it up and put it down and pick it up and put it down. It'll get there one day.
Yeah, because I always like people who are like get addicted to cigarettes. I'm like, you got no stories, man. It's a shit drug to get addicted to. Like, you got what cigarette story have you got that was like exciting and you could write a book about? Fucking shittest addiction. Get on the crack and then you got mad stories and a book, bang, when you've recovered. You got a book, man. I got a book about my tobacco addiction. Fuck off.
Yeah, I've got some serious stories. It took me to some like nuts places. Yeah, nuts places. And it's definitely one to tell the grandkids, eh? Some great bedtime stories.
Yeah, man. And own it. Because I was working with a lady and she was like, my kids don't know that I think it was like a drug trafficking thing. And she's like, I've never told my kids, I've never been open about it. And I was like, fuck it, they'll love it. They'll be like, my fucking mum was a drug trafficker because she's a beautiful human being. It's like, it's like, you'd be like, fuck, what the fuck did you do? Like, what was it? What happened? You know what I mean?
I always was as age appropriate openness with my kids. Because if I want to foster them to be open individuals, like, I feel like you need to be open yourself. I didn't want to hide who I was. I wanted them to learn from my mistakes so they didn't go screwing up and making the same ones. So like it's a bit, because I don't come across as someone who's, I don't know.
No, I knew straight away you'd been in prison loads. I'm joking, though. No, you definitely don't. When you said it, I was like, what? I was like, yes, this is going to be a good episode. I don't know who the fuck this lady is, but she's been to prison. Let's talk about it.
I know. This is it. It makes me interesting.
Definitely. 100%. So, just tell us, take us through. Do you mind talking about that? Just take us through. So the first time you went in, 17, 3 months. Yeah. How did you get through it? What was it like after you cold turkeyed? How long did that take?
I don't remember that stuff. Normally sleep patterns used to take maybe about 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks to kick in. I don't remember much. The only thing I remember from my first sentence was having my jewellery stolen off me and playing pool with this girl and her telling me like she'd just gone to the shop, that she was in prison for murder, that she'd buried the body, her and her partner had buried the body under some concrete, and that's how they got found out, is the concrete split and people were having a barbecue and the stench came up, and that's how they got caught. But she was telling me
didn't do a very good job.
She'd just gone to shop for Tesco's. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking, is she trying to intimidate and scare me? But I found out that that was her sentence. So I remember that, that really clearly. I was like, how did my life end up here? And like, it just seemed normal, like, just like you. Do you know what I mean?
Don't dig up my
you...
patio. There's loads of people under there, but I did a good job.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, actually, do you see normal? I'm not even sure it exists.
Who the fuck wants to be normal, man? Fuck normal.
It doesn't exist either, does it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I don't remember much, and I definitely didn't learn enough to not come out and make exactly the same mistake.
So when you come out, you like, I'm getting bang on it again? Or what was
was there
no rehabilitation in there?
This is it.
Okay.
So like the first 4 times that I went to prison, and the last time actually, to be fair, I was released with no home to go to, like no support, no nothing. I look back at it now and it's like, no wonder I kept going back. How the hell are you supposed to change or make changes? And I think I was too immature. I was still seeking those dopamine highs, and even the lifestyle that I was caught up in, there was a thrill in that. I remember, like, I look back and I'm just like, oh, you poor lost soul. This shows how like damaged your ego was. I remember like being with someone and them telling someone else what a wicked earner I was to go out with, and I remember the sense of pride I felt by being told as this brilliant criminal to go.
Oh right. I'm like, just like, yes, I'm good.
Yes, I've made it. So I think
it's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's a scene. Well, that's what people don't understand 100%. About like homelessness as well. It's a scene.
It is, and you get immersed in it, and that's your community. And I had nothing else to go back to. Like, I didn't have anywhere, so it forms your identity almost. But I was equally still constantly tormented in my brain. It's when you remove the substances, you're left with you, right? And I couldn't handle being me at all. And I don't think I was mature enough, hence why I did 5 rehabs and none of them worked,
right? Because
I just wasn't ready to go there. I don't think, like, because it is going into the darkness is uncomfortable, right? And so
obviously throughout this, you've just constantly, you can only be in dysfunctional relationships surely within that scene.
Exactly. This is it. Well, my eldest
I had Brian, the accountant, who was taking care of me during my my messy days. No.
I did have one partner before I went onto the heavy drugs. Like, we did party drugs and stuff like that together, and then he stopped doing all of it, and I went the other way. And he did try and help me so many times. God love him. And
but you wasn't ready to be helped.
I wasn't ready to be helped. Apart from that, they were like my eldest son's dad. I actually got together with the day I came out of psychiatric hospital after trying to kill myself. So you can see where my mental state.
Vibrational match.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Right. So they were all like toxic and dysfunctional as hell.
But on a level with where you was at the time.
Right. A level with my vibrational match and belief system match. If you believe about yourself that you're unlovable, that you don't deserve anything, you're going to pick things that reflect that, right?
And it shows up in different ways, like physical abuse, mental abuse, like all the different things, because people think they've changed and they've just changed it for a different type of that abuse, of abuse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So, and I think that was the last, like when I started my healing journey, I don't know why it took so long for the penny to drop in terms of that was kind of what I kept on repeating. So I stopped all the substances, and then I learned that the problem was with me, but it took me so long to grasp the concept of like the problem with me was my relationship with me, which directly impacted my relationship with everything else, right? And especially relationships. So, And I had no understanding of like the dopamine hits when you first meet someone. If you're used to those toxic patterns, what feels like, oh my gosh, this is like we've got some amazing chemistry. Like that's normally a bit of a warning sign if you're a bit of a dopamine hunter. And I didn't have any of that awareness. I was more fixated on, do they think I'm enough, or do they like me, rather than are they enough, or are they going to treat me well? I was so fixated on that. I just kept on repeating. It's just literally same behaviours, different faces.
But so when was the moment? Was it the last time in prison? Did you come out of there and go, I'm not going back in, or was that not? How was it looking?
Yeah, so the last time in prison, I actually there were some programs that were running.
And what was your sentence then?
11 months, I think. I ended up doing 8.5 because at the beginning of the sentence, I got stuff brought in. So then they did tests, and then I got extra days on my sentences and stuff like that. So.
And you got a child at this point?
No. So I fell pregnant the day from this sentence.
From the last sentence.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the one I met or got together with when I came out of psychiatric hospital. Right. 6 months later, I was given my sentence. Okay. Then I came out to that relationship, which lasted basically that day or maybe a few weeks afterwards. Like I knew instantly I'd changed.
And what was the catalyst within that sentence then? The rehabilitation work that he was doing, or?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of things.
12 steps?
No, it wasn't 12 steps. They didn't do 12 steps in there. There were a few 12-step meetings in the prison before that. So at the beginning of that journey, but I think it was my longest time away from any substance whatsoever. Yeah. I made a really good friend in there that we're still friends today, and she's come out to do amazing things as well. And I think the combination of that and I started kind of spiritually seeking. I found some poems that I actually wrote, and you can see that's the start of my spiritual seeking journey. Because like it's me crying out to find God as such. So I think that and that friendship, I got to experience like belly full laughter, like that pure flipping where you wet yourself. Well,
just the shit. Yeah.
I did wet myself on a couple of occasions.
All right, good.
Just share that.
In the top bunk.
No, we weren't in
Wet
bunks.
myself and got battered.
No, it was only with her in her cell one. There was no bunks in this one. But like that belly laughter, it I hadn't experienced it like that in years, and I think the friendship where I just felt nurtured and connected to another human being in a way that I'd not experienced, and I think my brain had enough time and clarity to for that little tiny flame that had probably kept me alive all that time, it started burning a little bit brighter. So I think it was a combination of all of that. And then I came out and I so wanted to change. And I was then doing programs on the outside and accessing things like that. I came out to a place in Derby, and then one night I ended up relapsing. It was the most horrific flipping night ever. And after that, I was like, I can't ever do this again.
And that's when you was on your knees.
And then a few weeks later, someone brought me that parcel round, and that's when I was on my knees. So that I think the combination of all of that together.
So that was the last relapse. It's not been one since then. How long ago was that?
God, my son just turned 22.
22 years?
Yeah, so 22 years.
Full power, 22 is powerful number as well.
It is.
Master number.
Actually, I got that yesterday. 2222.
222. Yeah, Desmond 22. He's a spiritual guy. Amazing. So so then the development of, so how then did you sort of, structure, 22 years clean, like when have been the biggest breakthroughs within that 22 years of like getting your life sorted, getting things in order? Did the kids save you as well in a way, or had you already kind of saved yourself before you had your first child?
No, it's a running joke that my eldest, like, because he was, I say he was my saving grace. I think he was that extra thing. Like the day that I moved to Bournemouth, I actually, and he knows this, I had a termination booked. Because I was like, there's no way. It's not that he wasn't wanted. I just didn't want to bring a child into the world when I didn't even know how to look after myself. And I knew I was going to be nowhere near his dad. Like, I knew I needed to get away from that relationship. And I thought, how can I do that to another human being? Like, I'm not going to be able to give him what he needs. So my termination was booked. But also I'd had an interview in a hostel in YMCA in Bournemouth. And they contacted me and said, we've got a room for you on this date, but if you don't take it, you could be waiting another 6 months.
Right.
And the termination was the last point that I could have a termination. Okay. And they were both on the same day. So I had a choice. It was either move to Bournemouth with the baby in the belly, or the termination and risk being stuck in Derby. And I chose him and Bournemouth. And so, like that path was, I think, a saving grace for me. So he likes to joke that he's my saviour.
He is your saviour. Maybe like, I just imagine him like, because obviously he said like the first day you come out of prison, that's when that seed was, like that his soul kind of came in. And maybe his soul was like, the first time he did drugs, he was like, whoa, woman, I'm not having this. You need to drink some fucking green smoothies, bitch. Like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, sort yourself out. He's like, I want some nice food, some good nutritious shit in here. He was powerful. He was like bossing it. He was like, yo, make this space sacred. I'm in here.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, definitely. I do think, 100%. They have been my saving grace. I think at points, if I didn't have my kids, I don't know if I'd be here. And that's full honesty, because even within the journey of healing, there's been some points of absolute like brokenness. And it was, don't get me wrong, it was a tough journey. This healing journey has been long and grueling at points.
But then you've got that solid thing of like, I've got to do this because I've got this child now. I can't. Like, it's 100%. Whereas if you didn't, you'd be like, do you know what? I'm checking out. Yeah,
100%. And it's been my biggest driving force in terms of I need to change for them. I need them to have like a better start. I need I need to be the best version of myself for them. So it's definitely driven me. And it's that balance, isn't it? Because it's driven me so much that at the beginning I was like, I need to be like financially successful. I need to be the provider. I need to have a perfect home. I need to like have them perfect. And I tried to make everything perfect. And that was pretty painful to try and achieve. Pretty painful. So I've had loads of ego deaths within that as well. Is that like...
What do you feel has been the biggest one? Right, guys, we have got an offer for you. If you want to keep your space and yourself clean, cleansed and purified, we are offering all our podcast listeners 5 sticks of the finest Palo Santo for £5. That is £1 per stick. Just put in the code Paolo5 at checkout. Now back to the podcast.
The biggest ego death.
Yeah.
It has been the one of believing that I'm powerful enough to control it all. I think coming to that realization, and the realization that that I am love and I am lovable, and whilst I'm so equally and in balance, so flawed, I think accepting all of that has been huge, in terms of ego death, because it's got rid of that need to have all of that control, like that false sense of you being the one in control, like, the impact that has on everyone around you, and my kids, like, my earlier years of that full sense of control and trying to do that, being so driven by fear, it had, like, it wasn't good, man. Like, I look at some of my parenting and how I navigated some of that, and I've made massive amends for it and taken full ownership. And I think that's a big difference. Like, we all screw up in our parenting, right? But when you can take ownership and fully admit to them that it's your flaws and you're lacking and not them, that's transformative. Yeah, so that release of the illusion of control, as painful as it was, because it's really scary relinquishing control, and it's a thing I have to constantly come back to. That is the lesson that I've learned that's brought the biggest ego death, but the one I forget the most.
But it's a serenity prayer as well, isn't it? It's like the serenity prayer, just keep reminding yourself, like, bang, bang, bang,
and
bang,
sometimes
bang.
that needs to be a daily thing.
Yeah, man, I think it should be. I think you should be like in a VR set just in front of you all the time, like, or someone just like an earworm, just remember.
100%, because that was that need for control. It's a real trauma response, right? Now understanding trauma, I understand it so much, of why I was so driven to need it. But when you release it, oh man, the freedom that comes from letting go of that illusion.
It's like a fucking two stone weight coming off your shoulders, isn't it? It's like, it's like, what? I've been carrying that for this long, and there's so many of those, man. Yeah. And it's like super, super
and
beautiful.
Like you were talking about that, like with your kids, then you can allow them their journeys a little bit. And whereas I was so fearful at the beginning of them becoming anything like their dads or anything like what I was like, that need for control and that fear was so huge. And going through, that journey of healing the relationship with myself ultimately then has healed the relationship, of how I am as a mum.
Yeah, because I think it's like not being scared of showing them the aspects of ourselves that are not great. Because for me, like the males that I learned the most from were the toxic masculinity, the males that weren't, they was think like, people say to me, it's like, what did you learn? I was like, I learned this from that person. He's like, that's really bad. I'm like, but it learned me to I didn't want to be like that, or I didn't want to do this, or I didn't want to operate like that. Or it's like, how do I, I'm constantly with my stepkids, like thinking, how do I not end up like that hate that I had for my stepdad? And it's a real difficult battle, because you're trying to be like, they're not your kids and you're not their dad, but you're trying to create a masculine space where there's this, divide, and then it's the hardest thing, man. But it's like, how can I show them love, and there's not this reciprocation, and it's fucking, it's so difficult.
And when they're teenagers.
Mine are like ours. Like I've been teenagers since and there's been different phases. Like there was one where like I remember the first year we went on holiday with my missus' daughter, and she was just like horrible, like the horriblest thing. I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with her? And she was just like and we laugh about it. I laugh about it with her now. Do you know what I mean? She was like, I was. I was like, I don't know what was going on, but she's going through all these hormones, these emotions, and then I remember like she was like, this was the first year we went away to Cornwall, and she just like sit there in a hoodie on the beach. It's like 32 degrees, fucking not engaging, but don't want to be here. It's like, well, you got to be here. You're fucking 14. Do you know what I mean? Like, where else you got to be? I want to be in a dark room on my computer, or like hating everything. And then we went to Cornwall the next year, and she was a totally different person. And I remember there was a family, and there's the mum and dad and the little kid playing, and there's just a lad with his hoodie up, like, and I was like, there's you last year. She was like, fuck up.
It is flipping hard, and they will be your biggest mirrors. Like my kids have revealed all the shadows that exist within me in their full entirety. And for me, like especially with two boys, like raising two boys that then enter teenage years, where that fight for dominance and they do that, like that prefrontal cortex, it stops working, right? So there's a lack of respect, a lack of regard, high levels, massively triggering for me, considering the relationships that I'd been in. And for me to learn that journey of trying to remember to see them as this is just their phase and they're their own human beings and this isn't the same patterns repeating. My reactions at points were, it was like I was fully in an abusive relationship again, and flipping those shadows and having to own that and work really hard on healing that.
Yeah, it's super. I was like that with my mum, like disrespectful, spoke to her like shit. But it kind of like sometimes it needed that man, what's your fucking lip, boy? Because and then it's like, well, he'll knock me the fuck out. Do you know what I mean? And you go, and then you sort of put your behaviour in check a little bit, but then you still do it, but you're kind of a bit more wary. It's like, oh, I'm going to get fucked up if.
So I've tried to be both, and that's so that's where for me I found it so hard being a single mum. It's like I'm flipping playing two characters. It's totally, like there's few different people going on inside my brain, and I have to switch from. That's why I'm doing a lot of work on the masculine and feminine energy, because in order to survive, in order to provide, and in order to have that masculine container, like I've weighed really heavy in that masculine energy a lot, and the feminine is the flow and the receptiveness and the love and the creativity.
It needs both. That's how the dynamic of it works most beautifully. But and then in that kind of like single mum thing, it's women trying to step in. I guess it's even like women trying to step into the male dominated workplace. You have to become this male thing, but it's not your natural state of being.
And it made me really unwell at points, like trying to be that and I then get stuck in that energy, and then the conflict that would ensue, especially like my eldest one, not now but in his teenage years, like it was like a battle of those two like dominant egos, because I was stuck in that male energy. And that's been a huge part of my healing, is really learning to lean into my feminine, because that is where I'm my best self. We all need both energies within us.
You need a balance.
I wouldn't get anything done, but where I am my best is when I'm leaning into my feminine. It like 100%. I see the world with more beautiful eyes. I respond in more beautiful ways. My heart is more open. It's
nurturing.
100%. So that's been a massive journey.
And that's what all boys want from the mum, do you know what I mean? And from the divine and from the feminine. It's like this
100%.
nurturing aspect. It's like, you know, this whole thing of like demasculating men. It's like, demasculate the toxic masculinity, but actually keep the masculine. Like, it's 100%. Like, you know, I like going out and chopping wood, and I actually like cooking. Like, I like a lot of feminine activities, and I've got a lot of feminine friends, but I like getting my chainsaw out, going fucking making shit, whacking shit, like cutting. I started axing wood for the first time because I live in the countryside. I'm like, bang! I'm like, something should be watching me. I was like, P, come out, watch me do this. Bang! She's like, whoa. Like,
but it is. I think we like, even in society, we've been so confused, because like the pendulum swing, I always talk about it, when it's too far one way, when it's like the change happens, before the change happens and the balance is found, it swings way too far in the other. And I think that things did need to change in terms of women having more rights and stuff like that. But then it went too far the other way. Like women taking on real masculine.
Shouldn't have to be a mother. It's like, no, you don't have to be. But actually, that's such a beautiful thing, and you're the best at that. Your nature is to be the best at that. I was actually thinking that when you was talking about like, you know, that drive to stay alive for your kids, and obviously we have this massive problem globally of male suicide. And do you think one of the reasons is possibly that the males don't have that if they've got kids or something, they don't have that sort of nurturing thing, I've got to stay alive to do this, whereas a mother, it's like, you know, like they say, if there's a mother and father and there's a bus about to hit their children, the mother goes in front of the children and the father saves himself like 9 out of 10 times. Do you know what I mean? Do you think could be, I don't know why that came into my head when you was chatting about it, but just the fact that male suicide's so big, but why is it not as big in women? Is it because there's this single mum thing of like, I'm here, I've got to look after.
I think 100%
Yeah.
in terms of, we have that natural inbuilt thing to think of whenever I think of a decision or what I'm going to do. Most of the time, my thoughts are connected to everything else and everything else that it will impact.
Yeah.
Like it's there's a brilliant video. I can't remember the guy who's in it. It talks about the tale of two brains and how men's brains and women's brains are so different. And men can compartmentalize really well. And when they're in the nothing box, like when a woman says, "What are you thinking?" and a man goes, "Nothing." Quite often they are thinking it's nothing. Whereas to a woman, to a woman, that's an alien concept because our brains everything's connected to everything. So, and I think that's what makes us excellent nurturers and home builders and being in that feminine is just so much more natural to us to that. But it's a different sort of protection, isn't it? I think men's natural inclination is to be the protector, the provider in the masculine sense. And I think a lot of male suicide, I do think that where society's gone, men are struggling to find where's their place then.
And where's their, because even sometimes it's like I'm not allowed to be masculine or but yeah, because it's interesting. I've got a lot of really close female friends, but like a lot of them say like when they're with me, they switch off from like doing stuff because I just take care of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just switch off.
I need a few of you in my life.
And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, like, I actually don't drive as well when you're in the car with me. And I was like, oh, I'll drive then. Let me drive, man. And he's a guy that I follow. He's called Brad. He's got a podcast, Brad something, American guy. But he's all about entrepreneurship, but also about like, he's got this kind of like the Brad Squad or Brad Collins, or I can't remember his name. I'll have to tell you afterwards. I'll find out. But I follow his podcast, and basically he's saying like, if you're a man, like go drive the car, man. Like you drive the car. That's one of your jobs. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, and it's like,
I do think.
Drive your lady around.
A lot of feminists would probably shoot me for it, but I do think that. Like there are definitely more masculine roles and more feminine roles, and I think that when a man is in his healthy masculine, I like the beauty that will come from the woman being able to lean into that femininity more. And I don't think I understood this stuff like ever. And now what I look for in a man is so flipping different. It's unreal. Whereas a man, even saying that, like 6 years ago, would have been like me doing the male stuff and the woman being the home. What do you mean? I want to get a career, and it's not that I don't. I still have goals and dreams, but God, what I would give for a healthy masculine man to come into my life and me to be able to really lean in and surrender into that.
And support you, and you support him at the same time, but in different ways.
In different ways, yeah.
So when I was a kid, when you're a kid and you look, you and your mates, and you see these like ugly guys like with these beautiful women, and you're like, oh, he must be mintage. He's just with him for the money, or he's got a massive cock. Do you know what I mean? That was when you're a young lad. That's all. Yeah, but that's all you think. But then as I've got older, you go, actually, like, it's really attractive if that guy has got his shit together. Like, it doesn't. The woman's like, it's super attractive. He's got a house, he's got a job, he's got investments, he takes care of me, he opens the door for me when I'm in the car, whatever, all these things. He's like super attractive, man. So it's not necessarily like they're just with him for the money. He's attractive, he's got his shit together, he can hold space for them, he can support them, can allow them to be the divine feminine, whatever that wants to be, in that whatever way that wants to blossom. And I only understood that like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Well, so, not 2 years ago, but about 5-6 years ago when like, or maybe 7 years ago, is when that penny, because I generally went for what was aesthetically driven.
Yeah.
And charisma. Didn't look at any of that stuff. I kept on screwing up. But absolutely now what is attractive to me, I mean, is so far in the opposite direction to what I used to find attractive.
Yeah. And do you find that in your work that you do with women to like change their, to obviously change their, the only way they can change their patterning is by changing themselves, but how do they change what they're looking for in a way from someone and find that?
Right, so it's one of the biggest works that I had to do, and is learn to understand, like, what was driving my attraction, what core beliefs was I holding about myself that drove that, but also like understanding what my real core values were and what lit me up, like where in the world did I go and it lit me up and made me feel lighter or more peaceful or more joyful. And really starting to look and study into those parts of yourself, because when you're in the presence of energy that makes you feel like that, then there's qualities there that person is possessing that is going to bring out the best in you. So it's really challenging all of that and getting to really dig deep into where is that happens, so that they can get and learn to understand the qualities that are the most attractive for their higher self. Yeah. And then start to seek them, because I didn't have a clue about any of that. I just looked for what I was chemically attracted to.
And it's for men, women to understand that's different for everybody. Like for me, 100%. It's like energy of place, like a space, like a town, or it's like I don't resonate with this, I don't feel it. And there'll be like places I've been when I've traveling, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go there. It's everything that I'm about. It's got all the things, and I go there and I feel like shit, and I'm like, there's just an energy of the place, and you're thinking, well, it's got all these things that I find amazing, like I'm into, but my vibration is not supposed to be here. It's like move on. And I was in a specific place in America, and it had everything that I wanted to do, and I thought I was going to end up living there. I was there for 2 months. I felt shit the whole time, and I didn't understand why. I was crying a lot, and then I remember getting on this train. I got to this other town. I was like, got up at 5 o'clock, went for a run. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, what's different? It was just the energy of a space, of like, 100%. Find your vibrational match with where you're living, what you're working as, 100%. Who you're spending your time with, what you're eating.
I think a lot of men and women who have had any level of trauma or unhealthy relationships become so disconnected from their self, from their intuition, from their bodies, from energy. Like they're just so, when you're in survival mode, you are not connected to any of that. So doing a lot of work to bring yourself out of survival mode is that's why I do the mind and body and spiritual, because that's what enables,
and that's what the yoga is. The physical, then the mind and the body, the breath, the energy, like just understanding. And so you've like, sometimes that first thing of getting on a mat and being like, I don't know, he's told me to put my left foot forward, which one's my fucking left foot now? Like, how do I, I'm like, how do this is mine, I don't know where the fuckings go. Like, you're disconnected from your body, man, like, and it's like that realization then, and then to go deeper into those practices, like you're saying about clearing the body, clearing the mind, clearing the energy fields, clearing the ancestral lines, like clearing the traumas, clearing the triggers, everything. It's like it's a fucking deep practice. It's a lot of fucking work, man. But it's like slowly go to a yoga class, go to a breath work, and it's dead easy now, man. The amount of shit when I was first starting out, it was like, trying to find stuff, you know what I mean? It was super hard. Me and my friend Catherine, we thought we were only spiritual people in the UK, and we'd have to go to LA. We're like, LA's got shit going on, haven't we? And then as we uncovered, it was like, it's all this it's like AA. And when you realise that you go AA and you're like, right, where's the meeting? It's like, fuck, they're everywhere. You're like, what? This is another world, man. You don't know it exists. And like the same with like yoga spirituality. It's like, there's going to be a healing session. There's going to be a healing share somewhere in the town or somewhere near you. Go check it out. It's going to be a meeting. Like for me, 12 steps, whether you're an addict or identify with it, fucking go and do that program, man. I want someone 100%. To bring out a program. It's like, this is not for addicts, this is for fucking everybody.
It's for the world.
Because it's 100%. Such an amazing practice.
That was one thing I did, like the church that I went to, they actually brought it to the whole, they said everyone needs to do it. This is a thing for everyone. So because I think what can happen in the spiritual world, a lot of the faith is spiritual bypassing.
Yeah, man.
And people that don't actually do the work. And I think I tried that for years. I wanted God to fix me. I wanted a saviour. Someone to
please, that's what you like for the whole time. It's like, just sort this out. Don't want to do it. Quick.
I was waiting for my knight in shining armour, but in the thought I made God
you're the knight in shining armour. It's inside you. You're the goddess, the warrioress.
100%.
All those things. 100%. I think like sometimes like people who observe me, they think I'm a spiritual bypasser because I'm taking a piss and having a good time all the time. It's like, I've fucking done some heavy duty shit, man. Like, and I'm still gonna do the heavy duty shit because I know that I get more from like. I might think that I'm there and I've done it, and then I'll go and do a ceremony or something. I'm like, what? Like, oh shit.
Well, it doesn't even take a ceremony for that. It just takes flipping menopause. I'm heading towards it, and it's making me realise there's still some deep roots there.
So are you perimeno at the moment, darling?
Oh yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah. Well, even just that, like, this, like, I didn't know. Perimeno, who the fuck heard of perimeno like years ago? Now it's this thing, it's the supportive mechanisms, it's people doing things like Gary Neville's missus is doing a lot of stuff, menopause, that my ex-business partner, we've now friends again, which is amazing, because when we had a business together it was like we were friends, but it was like this is not, and then once we stopped the business we're like, oh my god, we're friends. I love you. We've struggled for a couple, but she does menopausal festivals, a lot of womb wisdom, a lot of womb healing. So I think like to just sort of like, I fucking love this episode, by the way. Awesome, like amazing. Really, really got into it. It's been a beautiful conversation, and I feel like we could probably do about 3. Could just do a prison special with you. But have you read James Frey, A Million Little Pieces?
No.
Read that shit. Yeah, that's what inspired me to write my book. Okay. There's a book called A Million Little Pieces by James Frey. The sequel to it's called My Friend Leonard, and there's a book called by Jan. Oh, what the fuck's his name? There's a book called When Nietzsche Wept, and those are the books that really inspired the way I wrote my book. But James Frey's thing is very much about being in rehab, going prison, going rehab, like, and all the mad shit that goes on. And I think you could write a book as exciting as that. Like, it's like, fucking write it, man. Like, just write a page a day, like, and it'll just write a story a day. Like, you can get a story. I want to write that story. I remember that bang, write it down. When I started
writing it, it was like, and then.
Exactly, man.
And then.
Yeah.
How many and thens can you have?
Yeah, but you could have 300,000 words and go, right, someone help me cut this down into, it might be 300,000 words. Don't let anybody tell you it needs to be 70,000 words for it to be a book. Fuck them. Let the book be the book, what it's supposed to be. Shantaram 100%. Is like 600,000 words, man. That's a massive book. Read that book as well, but it takes a long time. And you sat up at night reading it till 4 o'clock in the morning and go, fuck, it's like a crack Netflix series.
Is it?
It's like Shantaram,
you're gonna have to send it to me.
That's another book about prison and about him escaping and about getting into the criminal world as well. I ain't sending you the book. Buy the fucking book yourself.
No, I said send me the link.
Yeah, send me the link. Someone once asked me to, like, can I lend your book on creating wealth and money? I was like, no, go and fucking buy it. Yeah.
You're prepared to invest in that. Good luck.
And she looked at me like in disgust. I was like, yeah, you're not going to get there very fast. All the best.
The Myth of Normal is the one I'm reading at the moment.
Okay. Gabor Mate.
Yeah.
Are his books better than his podcast? Because it fucking bores me to shit,
Does
man.
He?
Oh, it bores me to shit. Like, it's like Eckhart Tolle. When I look at Eckhart Tolle, I'm like...
I see. I
like
find,
the books.
Do you know what it is? I think about his energy. It's like I wish I'd had him as a grandfather. I think it's that. It hits that note because I've never had a healthy male energy that's just like there's a softness about him that feels safe. Maybe when I listen to him, but he has got a huge amount of wisdom.
Oh,
I've only just started it, so I'll let you know.
I just think he's a bit boring and grey. I always wanted Kevin McLeod, from Grand Designs to be my grandfather. I was like, he'd be a cool granddad, wouldn't he? He's probably not old enough to be my granddad, but I was like...
I don't even know who he is.
Grand Designs? You never watch Grand Designs?
No.
Oh, you need to watch that shit. What's the full power version of Natalie Russell, if it's in the future or something, what does that look like?
In my wildest dreams?
Yeah. Super, the wilder than wild, like...
I definitely want to do more TV. I love it.
We didn't even talk about that.
I know. See, you have to have me back.
Have you got time? Yeah, go on, do more TV.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just, when you find something, even like doing this, I just love it. Having conversations, being on, it's just, I feel at home. And I think it's been a desire of me since I was doing drama at school.
So what, be on TV, acting, presenting?
No,
or...
I did for years want to be on EastEnders.
Right.
Like for years. I don't know what that was about, but that...
Would you want it to be Wallard's dog handler?
Well...
when he's whoever died.
I wanted to be one of the Slater sisters. Right. I thought I would have been brilliant at that.
I think you would have been decent.
No, more. I'd love to do some presenting to do with dating. Celebs go dating or something like that. I'd love to be one of the coaches on there. So nice. That in my wildest dreams and documentaries. I'd love to do documentaries. I'd have the most incredible man on my arm of the healthy masculine who does the work as a spiritual seeker, but allows me...
Has he got a beard?
Has he got a beard?
No, has he? Does he look like a Viking? I can imagine you with like some Viking sort of fella, yeah. I can just pick you up and bench press you.
That'd be quite nice. I wouldn't mind that. Cut that bit out for my boys, all right?
They're like, he's not going to be able to beat us up. Get a skinny little man. We could.
I've already been to my 16-year-old. He's already dictating, like, you're not allowed this sort of man, and you try and bring this sort of man. Whereas my older one, he's stepping into, because I said the other day, I was like, what if I just decided I was into women? And my eldest went, Mum, as long as they make you happy, I'm good. Yeah. Whereas my 16-year-old, he's like, hell no. he's I'm not having that. My friends will rip me.
So what? I'd be like, fucking yeah. I'd be like, go for it, Mum. There's less hassle.
Well, I tried it when I was younger.
Prison.
This is it. So, I think, and just freedom, like financially, I just love financial freedom, and it's coming. It is. I know it's coming.
It's abundance. 2025 is all abundance.
100%. But I just love to have impact. Like wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, as long as I'm having impact, and as long as I am touching people's lives and leaving it better than when. What was I saying? Better than when I first arrived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, impact, having impact.
That's my biggest desire, to have impact. So yeah.
You're gonna a lot.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes sparkling. Keep doing your shit. So, but you was on TV. You was on a dating program.
I was.
How did that go? What was it on? What channel?
It was ITV. It was with Davina Mccall.
Do you know
the mad thing is, when I was in the depths of my mess, I was in...
Was you on crack when you was doing the TV show?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
It's only the year before last.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Year before last. I don't even know what year. Yeah.
Go on, so when you was in the depths...
Yeah, I was in a squat. We had this little square TV, and I used to I'd be awake all night, and I'd watch God's Gift. It was a TV show, and as Davina Mccall hosted it, but it was on at 3 a.m, and I used to look at her, and there was something in me that was like, I flipping I'm supposed to be like her, and B. I feel like I know her.
You feel connected.
I felt really connected. I knew nothing about her history by this point. And it was just like there was this knowing. And then I looked around where I was on some dirty mattress in a flipping spot. And I was like,
I'll get to you, Davina. I'm coming.
You're deluded.
Well, she was in them states, wasn't she?
I didn't know that at this point. I just knew that I felt this connection to her. Yeah. And then this opportunity came up, and this wasn't on my vision board. It was Married at First Sight was actually on my vision board at this point, and this opportunity came.
Married at First Sight was on my vision board. It's a shite vision board, mate. Fucking hell. You need to rip that fucker up.
It was to be a coach on it.
Okay, all right. Thank God. Jesus. It's like this girl's not fucking read The Secret properly. I misinterpreted it.
Anyway, but I love just new experiences. Like I'll try anything once. Well, not anything.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
She's tried it all.
There's not much left to try, to be fair. But so, yeah, like that came along. And then the first day that I was in there.
What was the show called?
My Mum, Your Dad.
My Mum, Your Dad. It sounds wrong, but go on.
Well, basically, our kids, we didn't know that they were being filmed. We told they were doing a podcast about the show and were doing social media stuff. But really, they were in a room with loads of cameras watching us dating, and they were the so-called experts, but we had no idea. So my eldest son was part of the process as well. And the day that I was sat on the couch and Davina came in, I literally got a chill from head to toe, and it was like my soul knew. That I just remembered coming. That memory. Yeah. So
did you look round and go, "Where's that rank mattress? Where's my pipe?"
I was in this £5.2 million. I don't know how much it was. It was millions and millions of pound house on like plush sofas next to her, and I was like, "What? My life's just like, this is just nuts. My life is nuts."
I thought when you was going to talk, when you first started talking about Davina and you said I was in this flat, and I was like, Davina was just going round like crack flats and going, "Hello, this is Davina. This is real Britain. This is a crackhead." Starts interviewing you. I used to be like this.
That would have been a good show. That might be an idea. I can.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, people would watch it.
Yeah, this is it.
Maybe you can present it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Davina can be your runner. Right. And how did the dating go with that?
I mean, I'm single, so.
Okay, right, fuck it. Yeah.
I did date someone for 3 months, but...
From the show? Oh, what, do you have multiple, like, dates?
Well, there's 12 of you in a house, and you either end up with someone. It was only 2 weeks, but after the 2 weeks, you either match with someone or you don't. It's like fully your choice, and I ended
But you go on dates with quite a few of the people in there?
Well, yeah, well...
Or you just like hanging out and see who you connect with?
We were hanging out, but we got put on a date by my son and his daughter.
Okay.
They made the decision to send us on a date, and we went on a date and we clicked. But yeah, it lasted 3 months. Just wasn't aligned with who I am, what I need, what I want.
Happy days.
So yeah.
Wish them all the best.
I do, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Good.
Right. Smashed it. But so, like, if somebody wants to work with you, like, connect with your work, like, how do they hit you up?
Instagram's my kind of home. That's where I am the most. I am Natalie Russell. And
I am Natalie Russell.
TikTok.
Who is?
I am.
Okay, you are. You are. No, it's I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not though. I'm not. She is.
I am.
She is what?
I am Natalie Russell.
Website?
NatalieRussell.uk.
Okay, where's the I am gone? You lost the I am.
Yeah.
I am the I am, remember?
Yeah, I am, exactly. I thought it was a powerful thing to speak over myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so, that Instagram's my home, but I'm on Facebook, TikTok, my website as well.
So people tap into you on Instagram. And then what have you got coming up? What offerings?
So, they just missed an amazing workshop that I just ran. So
you missed it, guys.
Missed it. But we have a few spots available for a retreat in the summer called Find Your Feminine. So if any of this has resonated, then come fill those spots. It's for you.
Yeah, and where's that?
So that is near Alicante.
Near Alicante?
Yeah, in Spain.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And it's what dates?
It is. Oh God, now you're testing me.
Go check out the website, Natalie Russell.
1st to the 6th of June. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't even remember. Beginning of June.
Fancy a bit of sun and some feminine empowerment.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the very, very best with anything. You're super inspiring, inspiring lady. And fucking write your book because I want to read it. Be amazing.
Thanks so
Lots
much
of love.
for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Final question. Well, no, there's going to be some bonus questions actually that Nick's going to ask you. But what does full power mean to you?
Full power means step into the fullness of who you were created to be.
Mm-hmm. Like it.
Whatever that looks like. Doesn't mean go full power all the time, because for women that can mean leaning into your softness and your slowness. That's still full power.
Totally. We talk about full power resting, like rest, full 100%. Power, full power going to the spa,
right.
like get rid of everything, be full power when you're at the spa. When I see people on the phone at the spa, I'm like, I just want to snap the wrists. Throw that in the pool. You're in the fucking spa, dickhead. Relax.
Yeah, the only time I go out is to take a picture, because I do love the camera.
I just snapped a wrist. I'm taking a picture. I'm taking a picture.
But yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's that. It's leaning into the full power of whatever you're doing. Yeah, whatever you're doing.
That's it. Nice one. Natalie Russell, not related to Russell Kane or Jack Russell.
Or Jack Russell.
Brilliant. Yeah, just to make sure everybody's aware of that. She's not a dog. She's father's not a dog, and her mother's not a dog. But do you have a dog?
No, I did. We had Jack Russells when I was younger.
You had Jack Russells?
No, when I was younger. I'm allergic to animal hair.
Did that fuck people up? Like you called Natalie Russell and with a Jack Russell? Here's Natalie Russell with a Jack Russell.
No, because I was Nagel when I was younger.
You was what?
Nagel.
Oh, I thought you said I was naked when I was younger. I was like...
Everyone was.
What sort of family was you born into? Fuck me.
No, surname was... Yeah, it wasn't even Russell. That's my stepdad, who I don't really have in my life, is his surname.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up.
So no one related Natalie Nagel to Jack Russell.
Yeah, brilliant. We love you.
Thanks.
We're excited for your journey.
Absolutely.
And fucking do the book.
I will.
Full power.
I will.
It's just like, okay, I'm just going to do the thing, and if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Exactly.
So you'll never be everyone's cup of cacao, right?
You're not supposed to be.
Triple possibility. Shri Maa ki jai, O Mama ki jai, Swami ji ki jai, Guru ji ki jai. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
We've all got different encasings, right? But we're all the same deep down. You know, Man is mind. Tra is a tool, so lack of presence. And the intense feeling of peace and the intense feeling of lack of this peace, the discomfort of that. Music was therapy for me, you know. But I felt this longing and this pain. You know, and I'm really thankful for that, because it made that search through poetry, through words. Those things were my therapy before I found out about the mantras and the meditation.